Take me there. Praise God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Yes, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Have your way, Lord. Have your way, Lord.
it'd be just an ordinary, everyday, every Sunday service. The devil would love for us to just get distracted and lay back and let the day just pass us by. Yeah, it's another Sunday, and yeah, maybe somebody's going to get healed, or maybe somebody's going to get delivered of depression or anxiety. But we, as individuals, I'm speaking for myself, sometimes we have to step out from where we are and step out from our own comfort zone in order for God to touch us, in order for God to move in the service. Somebody has the key to the service. Somebody in this church has the key to the service today. And if we just reach out and move from our comfort zones and let God touch us and let God speak to us, then He will do a miraculous. He will do the miraculous in this place.
Praise God.
Somebody say the devil's a liar. Hallelujah. Jesus is still on the throne. Amen. Well, in case y'all don't know it, you have an adversary.
All right.
Amen. Praise God. Distractions. The enemy loves to throw distractions. Hallelujah. But it's not going to happen. Amen. We'll pray right now. Brother Junior had to leave sick. They were supposed to be singing here. That's the reason why they're not singing right now. So if you all would, let's pray right now for Brother Junior, whatever this is. God, we thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. In the name of Jesus. God, touch his body right now, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. We believe, Lord. Give it to you right now, Jesus. Ago we started When Children Pray, and they're praying every Sunday. If you have a need, if you would present that, they're praying over prayer clause, they're praying over whatever. We're believing that God not only listens to adults, but He listens to children. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Book of John, St. John, chapter number 11. Not sure what all verses I'm going to read, so y'all just kind of have to follow along here with me. And I apologize, Sister Lydia, for not knowing exactly, but there's some of these verses that I don't want you to keep standing all day. And so we're going to kind of pick and choose here. Very familiar story that probably everybody here has heard at least one time talked about. A certain man was sick, verse 1, named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. When Jesus heard that, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. When he had heard therefore that he was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Then again he saith to his disciples, let us go into Judea again. I'm going to skip down here a few verses. And verse number 11. These things said he, and after that he saith unto them, our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may wake him out of sleep. Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit Jesus spake of his death, but they thought that he had spoken of taking of rest and sleep. Then said Jesus unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead. And I am glad, verse number 15, for your sakes that I was not there, to the intent ye may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him. Then we go skip down a few more verses, and verse number 21, then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee. Jesus said unto her, thy brother shall rise again. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. Amen. Remind her of what she had just said about 3 verses before. I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? And then the story goes on, and there comes a point when Jesus says, take me to where he's at. In the Bible, the shortest verse, verse 35, says Jesus wept. Then said the Jews, behold how he loved him. We'll skip on down a few more verses. Jesus saith unto her, said I not unto thee that if thou wouldest believe, verse 40, that thou shouldest see the glory of God? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. And I knew that thou hearest me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. And when he had thus spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. Amen. And that's my subject today. Those last 2 words, come forth. Come forth. It's time for some things to come alive. Amen. May the Lord bless you. You may be seated. Thank you for being a part of the service and impacting it with your worship. And I pray in the next little bit that we not become distracted, because there is an enemy that does not want somebody in this house. And that's all of us. He does not want you to be impacted by the presence of the Lord. Amen. When you read this story, and I doubt there's anybody that hadn't heard at least part of this story preached from, the situation and the condition that we're told here in this story lets us know that there is a lesson for us to learn. Because it reminds us again that it's not over till God says it's over.
Amen.
It reminds us that God can do anything.
Amen.
It reminds reminds us that God works in the darkness. It reminds us that God is not glorified by our sin or our sickness or our disease, but He is glorified by our deliverance, by our healing, by our freedom, by our resurrection, by our salvation. Amen. Word comes to Jesus. Lazarus is sick, but Jesus waits 2 days to respond. It could have just as easily been 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years, because the point is, it doesn't matter how long or how wrong or how strong. It is all the same to Jesus. Amen. It's the same power that heals a headache, that drives cancer out of your body. Amen. Praise God. It's the same power, amen, that heals a pulled muscle, but drives demons out. Y'all ain't hearing me. After 2 days, Jesus said, now. Now let's go wake Lazarus up. Jesus is even reluctant to speak of Lazarus' dead. Oh, Lord have mercy. It would be really good if some of us would wake up and quit calling things dead that God's just calling asleep. Amen. Hallelujah. Some of y'all ought to know the difference. I've heard it said a time or two, well, he was dead to the world. No, he wasn't. He was just asleep. He was just sleeping a little better maybe than what he normally was sleeping. And he didn't wake up every 15 minutes and you know, and flip and flop into bed. But, you know, he was laying there pretty good, and he was pretty comfortable, and he was asleep. And we got a lot of folk, and we got a lot of situations of people, amen, they're just asleep. Quit calling it dead. Amen. I know today that the enemy does not want me up here.
That's all right.
You don't want me telling you, amen, what the Lord would like for us to catch a hold of. We already know these things. We already know that we need to pray.
My Lord. Say that.
We do know that. But sometimes I don't understand why that it takes circumstances to come into our life to wake us up to the fact I really need to pray. No, now lay me down to sleep. Well, Lord, bless this food and bless the skins and back ears and cram it in. No. No. Talking about that kind of prayer that makes you sweat. Kind of prayer that takes some effort. Kind of prayer that when everybody else is saying, I'm done, you're saying, I'm just getting started. Amen. I got a need. I got a situation that needs an answer. And the sooner that you wake up and realize you're not going to fix it. I may fight you all the way through, but I ain't quitting. So you might as well just get comfortable, whatever you want to do. Amen. I'm telling you, some of y'all got to get off of this stuff. Amen. Pointing fingers and saying this and that and the other. And you got to recognize, if anybody's going to fix it, I have to fix it. God. I got to give it to God. I got to give it to God. He's the only one that can. I don't know if he's out there or not. He's trying. Jordan, I don't know if you hear me, buddy. The devil's a liar. He's losing. I see you tonight. You give him no place to the devil. After 2 days, Jesus says, let's go wake him up. Because as far as God's power is concerned, there is no difference between being asleep and being dead. Somebody needs to know today that your case is not too hard for Jesus. It may be too hard to care for the doctors, but it's not too hard for Jesus. Amen. Another thing that we need to understand is if Jesus ever was the healer, He is still the healer. If Jesus ever was a deliverer, then He's still a deliverer. If He ever was a way maker, He is still a way maker. Amen. Hallelujah. This story teaches us some things. It's not in there just so we have something to come to church and preach about every once in a while, or read a good story and know, oh man, that's an awesome story. This story shows us that it's never too late. It tells us to never give up. It's letting us know that you don't have to quit. In other words, never quit praying. Never quit confessing. Never quit praising God. Never quit believing. Because you're closer than you think. I believe that this church is on the edge of a miracle. If you would just let God, you're on the edge of a miracle. It's the darkest right before dawn. Hey, come on, folks. We're not ignorant of His devices. Can you not understand that when these things are going on in your life, it's not the time for you to get discouraged? Amen. It's not the time for you to get despondent. Where did that thing go? Hallelujah. It's not the time for you to throw in the towel. Amen. I'm getting ready to preach, y'all. It represents something.
Yes.
We've been told that we're living in what is called the Lazarus generation. Did y'all know that? Because Lazarus represents a hopeless cause, an irreversible situation, a condition beyond repair. Am I preaching to anybody yet? That which has gone beyond the hope of no return, and that which from all natural evidence is dead and buried. When they rolled the stone across the door, it signified to the whole world it's over. Jesus forgot to read the article. He chose not to buy the paper that day.
Jesus.
It's past. It's decided. It is what it is. And it's never going to change. I'm talking to somebody today. You can refer to the story of Lazarus and end at the tomb, because the whole message of Lazarus is one of resurrection. It is a message of healing. It is a message of wholeness. It is a message of deliverance. It is a message of hope. And the voice of Jesus. Lazarus is raised from the dead, and the end becomes a new beginning. Where death had reigned, life begins again. Oh, somebody needs to know God's not finished with you. Quit reading those stories. Quit listening to that junk. Amen. Because at the sound of His voice, amen, you may be bound, you may be full of demons, you may look dead, act dead, smell dead, look like you're beyond hope, but at the sound of His voice, the bound is set free. At the sound of His voice, demons are cast out. At the sound of His voice, hopeless have hope. At the sound of His voice, the broken are healed. At the sound of His voice, captives are set free. At the sound of His voice, blinded eyes are open. Deaf ears are unstopped. Amen. Lame walk again. At the sound of His voice, the dead are raised. People are saved. They're sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. Amen. This generation is not unreachable. Hallelujah. Praise. I said it's not. It is not unreachable. Your children are not too far gone. This generation is ready for the voice of Jesus to say, come forth. They're tired of religion. They're tired of this. They're looking for something. I'm talking about the Lazarus generation. I'm talking about those that seems like there's no way, but somewhere there is a spark that's beginning to spark. Amen. And I'm telling you where it's coming from. It's because of some folk, amen, that realize that prayer still works. Amen. It's because some folks said, I'm not giving It's not in philosophies. It's not in traditions of man. It's not in ideas or semi-religious songs.
All right.
But what this world and what every one of us need today is to hear His voice.
Man.
You've got to hear His voice. John said, verily, verily, I say unto you, the hour is coming and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of God. And they shall hear, and they shall live. If that was true then, how much more true is it today? But we're hearing all kinds of errant doctrine. We're hearing all kinds of self-help gurus and gracisms. Put that in your book, Calvary. Gracisms. Life teachers and life coaches. We just haven't figured it out yet. We're still trying to fix it ourselves. We'll just keep on. Looked in the face of the young man this past Monday night. He says, you know, he says, I shouldn't be back in here. He said, but I'm hard-headed. I'm stubborn. And that's exactly what I told him. I said, that's a good thing. You just need to get your stubbornness and your hard-headedness redirected. Hello? Be stubborn about what you're going to let the devil do in your life. Be hard-headed. Amen. Hallelujah.
Praise God.
I ain't giving up. I ain't quitting. I ain't backing down. Amen. Hallelujah. We don't hear too much pure, undiluted, unadulterated preachers. But if you have ever had a moment in your life that you just thought that you might want to listen, and I got a word for you today. You need to hear His voice. When Lazarus hears the voice of Jesus, he's resurrected. When this generation hears the voice of Jesus, it's why it's so important. It's why it's so important right now that we get together and that we understand, amen, that what the world sees needs to be the same thing that the world hears. And when this generation hears the voice of Jesus, they're also going to be resurrected. They may rise from the dead with green hair, tattoos covering their bodies, piercings all over their bodies. They might even rise from the dead, not sure if they're male or female, but the church has to be ready to loose them and set them free. We have to have enough of the love and the compassion of Jesus to look past their past. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Amen. We got to equip them for their destiny. You're going to reach somebody I can't reach. You're going to hear me say that as long as I've got breath in my body. Amen. And you may get tired of it, but I'm going to keep reminding you, amen, that you have a destiny that God had designed for your life, and you're letting the enemy play with you and run you and control you, amen, and tell you you got to do this and you got to do this and this is the way to handle this, amen. As long as you're trying to handle it yourself, you're going to keep coming around, amen, on the merry-go-round over and over. Man, I could trade those guys. I got about 5 of them. I was expecting 2 of them here today, amen, but there's about 5 of those guys that says, you know, this time's going to be different. And so we got to be ready. I'm not talking about endorsing all this weird stuff, and we got to challenge folk.
Amen.
Because we've got a society that says it's okay.
Amen.
It don't matter what you look like or how you talk or how you live. As long as you show up at church and say you love Jesus and lift your hands and worship Him, it'll be okay. No, I'm not talking about endorsing that. I'm talking about loving them enough that they can be loosed. Because every time I read this story, there's one thing, Brother Rodney, that always jumps out at me. There's no problem with Jesus. When Jesus says come forth, it's going to happen.
My Lord.
But if you notice this story, Jesus told them to loose him.
Amen.
You loose him. I brought life. I've spoken back into existence. Now you're going to have to do your part. You're going to have to loose him and let him go. Because you are a part of the miracle.
Amen. Yes.
Jesus could have done that. Let me tell you something. Lazarus could have come out of that grave without any grave clothes on. Amen. All kinds of things. This story could have been totally different. But Jesus chose to give us an example. He said, I'm going to do my part. When I speak to them, that's why they're going to come, y'all.
Amen. Yes.
Because this church is praying.
Amen.
If you're not, you need to start. Amen. But if you don't, we're still going to pray. Because God's going to lose some folks. And they're going to walk in this building. And their lives are going to be impacted. Amen. Because, amen, we are not going to give place to the devil.
Amen.
So loose them and let them go. Lazarus represents the church. The church. Pardon me for being plain today. The church has been asleep.
My Lord.
We, and I use that because we're all in this together.
Amen.
Somewhere back there, Brother Jonathan, we all fell into this trap. Thinking that if we would get the right song and the right singers and the right musician, if we would get the choir,
All right.
if we would get all those things in place, then everything's going to work out good. But God has never needed a particular musician or a particular singer.
Amen.
So we've decided that we're going to fix all of those things by flaunting our talent out there for folks to see. We're going to build nicer buildings, and we're going to do this, and we're going to have this, and we're going to have that. Amen. And all the while, we've laid prayer and fasting way back, almost clean out of our lives, thinking that because we can sing and play and testify, amen, that God is going to do something. No, 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 no. Amen. When the church comes alive and recognizes, amen, God's going to bless my singing because I'm praying. Amen. God's going to anoint my life because I'm praying.
Amen.
Not because everybody's talking about how good I can sing.
Say that.
Yeah, I got to get off of that maybe in a minute. The church has become sick
All right.
by mixing with the world.
My Lord.
The spirit of worldliness has poisoned the church.
Yes, amen.
It has. We got folks, young people, children, adults, that have decided that I can do whatever I want to do
Wow.
and still help God. Well, you got an old dude standing up here today that's going to tell you that's a lie from the pit of hell. Why in the world do I want to mess with that anyway? If God is not in it, what's the value of it? You see, sin is poison. Sin kills. Sin steals. I ain't forgot my message today. Sin weakens. Sin makes us cowards. Sin poisons. Sin separates us from God.
Say that.
The church is sick
My Lord.
because of sin. Isaiah said it so well. Why should we be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint. From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores, that they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. He whom thou lovest is sick. Jesus still loves the church.
Amen. Praise God.
But gambling, social drinking, fornication, adultery, pornography. Oh, y'all ain't gonna like me today. Homosexuality,
Come on.
perversion, or poisoning our churches.
Amen.
You want some statistics? If you want to know why the church is powerless, it's because she's been drinking poison. Hallelujah. I know I ain't talking to all of y'all, because we got some things that's turning around. Don't quit on me today till I get done, okay? There's some things that's turning around.
Amen.
There's some folks that got their mind made up.
Praise the Lord.
If they take my Bible, if they stop me from coming to church, they can't stop my relationship with Jesus Christ. That between the ages of 18 to 30, 77% of professing Christian men view porn at least monthly, 36% of them daily, and 32% admit that they are addicted to it, and 12% think they may be. Hold on now. 9.4 million women view porn monthly. 13% of women admit to accessing it at work. Every minute, 100 kids watching sex-charged sitcom comedies on TV.
All right.
Men kissing men and women kissing women.
Lord,
Excuse me, all y'all out there. I know that I'm supposed to watch my mouth. Amen. But if somebody don't speak out in this generation, how in the world do you think anything's going to change? Amen. Somebody's going to have to rise up. There's a church that's got to get rid of the poison.
yes, sir. Say that.
Amen. Maybe this don't bother you. But they justify it by saying, oh, it's just comedy, it's make-believe, it's not real. I wish that folks would realize that. They're just actors.
Amen.
Yeah, but they're convincing folks that's taking it serious.
Amen.
Watching movies that glorify sexual domination and perversion. I know I'm being a little graphic today. It's okay. I won't tonight, maybe.
All right.
But son, I'm telling you, go to casinos and gamble all night, have a beer or two, a few shots of liquor, come in on Sunday, raise their hands and sing and worship songs and wonder why that they don't experience the glory and the power of God. Come on, folks.
Preach it.
What
Yes.
kind of God you think He is?
Say that.
Amen. I'm not mad at nobody, but I am terribly
Yes,
irritated
sir.
at the one that makes us think that God's going to say, okay.
Amen.
Amen. I'm telling you, there's a turnaround. It's already happening.
Yes, sir.
There's some of y'all go, I'm telling you it's happening. Amen. There's folks going to walk in this building that are tired of that mess.
Amen.
And Lord help us to be as tired as they are.
Yes, Lord.
Amen. Praise God. I'm afraid that we're becoming the people that Jeremiah was speaking about
We are,
when
man.
he said, were they ashamed when they committed abomination? No, they were not ashamed at all. Neither could they blush.
Amen.
Yeah. That part of their brains doesn't become disconnected.
All right. All right.
Reality. I'll tell you something. If you don't think that you can do something enough until you sear your conscience,
My Lord. My Lord.
you're mistaken. God can't even deal with you
Say that.
because that part of your brain has disconnected from reality. Do you not understand that that's what's going on? And that folks' brains is disconnected from reality.
Right.
Man, I want to say something, but I'm not going to. It's probably just a little bit too much for mixed company, but I'm telling you, we are ignorant.
My Lord.
If we think all of that stuff
My Lord.
that they're watching is reality,
Say
you're
that.
as ignorant as a box of rocks.
All right. Say
I
that.
mean, dumb as a box of rocks. Let me move on. I don't want to, but I'm going to.
Preach on.
From now on, as far as we're concerned, according to Malachi, he said it's foolish to worship God and obey Him. What good does it do to obey His laws?
My Lord.
From now on, as far as we're concerned, blessed are the arrogant. For those who do evil shall prosper, and those who dare God to punish them shall go free. I'm telling you that the church has been asleep.
My Lord.
And many might even go so far as to say dead. But the good news is that Lazarus was raised from the dead.
My Lord.
Even though he had been sick and died, it wasn't the end of the story. I told you to hang on, I wasn't done yet. Amen. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff that's happening. And there's a lot of things that's not right. Amen. But I'm telling you, there's still a voice of God that's wanting to cry out and say, stone away. Oh Lord, don't let that. That's what we think. Is there anybody here that has to fight praying? The enemy that says, oh, don't pray no more. Don't you fast anymore. Don't confess the promises of God anymore. Just let it go. But I'm glad. I hope there's somebody else in here that's glad that somebody didn't let it go.
Amen.
Somebody held on to God. Somebody kept praying. Somebody kept confessing the promises of God. Somebody kept believing. Somebody here was just like Lazarus, dead and stinking in your mess. But God didn't write you off. Amen. Praise God. I ain't done, but I'm quitting. If you'll stand, it'll help me to quit faster. God came. Let me tell you something. This is the problem that people can't get in their brains. God don't get you out of your mess.
Amen.
Until He comes right into your mess.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can I tell you that God's not afraid of your mess? He knows about your mess.
Amen.
God knows about the stuff you've done. But He's not afraid of it because it doesn't stop the love of God. Mess won't stop the power of God.
All right.
Amen. You may be in a mess right now, but Jesus is here calling your name, saying, come forth. I got something better for you. Amen. I'm going to step right into your situation, and I'm going to let you know, amen, that it's not too hard for me.
Amen.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Folks have written off the church. They say the church is no longer relevant. They say the church is dead. They say the church has no power. It's just a religious institution. It's just dried up old bones. Amen. But I come to tell you something this morning. God is getting ready. Something's going to happen. Amen. And I believe, hallelujah, praise God. In fact, I believe that it's happening already.
Yes.
It's already happening.
Praise God.
The wind of God's blowing through a valley of dry bones, blowing through tombs.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Church is returning to a book of Acts anointing.
Sure.
Yes.
Amen. Hallelujah. Peter and John, they may be in the jail, but prayer
Yeah.
was being made.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
So, if prayer would bring them out of the jail then, prayer will bring them out of the jail now.
Yeah. Amen.
Not just a literal jail. I'm talking about the life that they're in, the jail that the enemy has them in.
Right.
Amen. So you've got to hear the voice of the Lord.
Yes. Yes, amen. Praise God. Praise God.
We're coming out.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Randy,
My Lord.
Yes, we are.
tell him.
Thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
Thank
What
you,
you said
Jesus.
this morning. Hmm?
Yes.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Yeah.
Praise God. Praise God.
Man,
You're my
Praise God.
I wish everybody would get to believe in this.
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
Forget about what you're seeing in the natural.
That's right. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise
I
the
thought,
Lord.
Lord, I mean,
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
the enemy wants to keep anybody and everybody out. You know, my wife was just getting ready, kind of wind down for the night. She gets a call from her mom, and she's falling and trying to get somebody over to the house. My son's trying to get over there, and Smothers, and she winds up 11 o'clock at night getting ready, headed to Jackson General Hospital to see what's all's going on. And I don't get it. But we've been praying.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Still going to pray.
And my wife needs to be here today. But she also needs to be in Jackson.
Amen.
Because God knows what He's doing.
Amen. Amen. Yes.
Sometimes folks are stubborn and hard-headed. And I want us to do something different today. I would ask you if you would join with me. This is not about you repenting or confessing anything.
All right.
It's just about, I want you to come down here today. And this, I know this may be symbolic, but I want you to put your head in your hand. And I want you to begin to cry out to God that if there's anything that's hindering me, I'm talking about sin, just talking about, get your hand in your face, your face in your hands, and cry out to God. If there's anything that's keeping me from coming forth, would you join me right now? Would you come down? You stand or kneel, however you want to do it. Lay on the floor, I don't care. The enemy's afraid. He's afraid of you, Curtis Norwood. He is afraid of you. Robert Robinson, the devil's afraid of you. Randy Norwood, the devil's afraid of you. Sister Rhonda. Amen.